Well, it was the most prescribed antibiotic in 2021, but medical experts say in some forms, the drug amoxicillin is now in short supply. Michelle Nix live tonight with what all of this means. Michelle.
Good evening, Chris. Strep throat is on the rise again, and it's contributing to making the antibiotic amoxicillin in high demand and short supply. Parents may feel like they're facing an uphill battle when it comes to taking care of their sick children, because not only are COVID-19, the flu, and RSV circulating, doctors say cases of strep throat are skyrocketing, largely impacting children ages 4 to 12. Making matters worse, certain forms of the antibiotic amoxicillin commonly used to treat the bacterial infection are getting tougher to come by. Pharmacist Clarence Sullivan says parents can always call their local pharmacies to check and see what's in stock.
We don't have certain medications like amoxicillin even available to us, so it's a search and find for patients at this point.
Strep infections have surged nearly 30% from their pre-pandemic peak, but amoxicillin powder used to make the liquid form of the antibiotic most commonly used for children has been in short supply since October of 2022. That's according to the FDA. Here at home, University Hospitals tells 19 News in a statement, University Hospitals retail pharmacies haven't experienced an issue with antibiotic shortages this fall. One of our pharmacists checked our wholesaler website and said there is plenty of amoxicillin available to order. However, just down the road here in Northeast Ohio, the Cleveland Clinic is experiencing something far different. And in a statement told 19 News, like other health systems across the country, we are currently being impacted by a supply shortage of certain doses and formulations of amoxicillin. We are working closely with manufacturers and supply chain teams to ensure patients are getting the medications they need. In some cases, this may include providing alternate antibiotics that are equally effective. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder has this advice.
If you're not able to track down amoxicillin at one of your local pharmacies, is to ask your pediatrician or doctor to prescribe an alternative.
Now, medical experts say it's important to remember that only bacterial infections will respond to antibiotics. Reporting live in Cleveland, Michelle Nix, 19 News.